The longer I lived in Cutter Gap, the more I learned about the mountain families. The McCones were the sharpest hunters. The Allen women were famous for their sewing. And the Spencers, especially John, had the gift of music.
Guess who?
Quit it, Bessie. I'm trying to figure the notes out. Hey, give that back.
I will for a kiss.
Come on, it's just an old song.
Sing it for me.
I sing like a frog.
Then I'll sing, you play. How green grow the lilacs, all sparkling with dew. How sad was the day that I parted from you. The next time I see you, I'll hope to prove true. And we'll change the green lilacs to the red, white, and blue.
That was beautiful. You both are so talented.
I put it down for you, Miss Christy. Ever since you showed us how to write down music the proper way, I've been figuring out all the old songs I can. And I'm gonna put them in a book so folks like that Mr. Harlan can't steal them and say they wrote them.
A mountain songbook. What a fine idea, John.
You think so, ma'am?
Yes. And now, I have a surprise for you. My father sent me a biography of Mozart. Remember I told you about Mozart?
Yes, ma'am. I reckon he was the greatest musician who ever lived.
Well, he was called a composer because he wrote music. I want you to read the book and then give the class a report.
Okay, I can do that.
All right. I'd like you to make it about, 3 pages. All right.
Miss Christy done this when she was my age. She said she'd be proud for me to have it. Miss Ida gave me this before she left. And I got 2 iron pots that my granny gave me. And this silver spoon my Uncle Angus brought back from the war between the states.
It's a fine hope chest, Ruby May.
Well, it'd be finer if I had a real chest to keep them in, but I'll get one someday.
I ain't got no chest neither. Nor much to put in it. Only a feather mattress. Mama made it the winter she died.
Well, it don't matter. You don't need a hope chest. You already got your boy to marry.
Well, I seen Will back looking at you in church last Sunday, and you know what he told me?
Girls, what is all this about? Our hope chests. We're planning for when we get married. Don't you just love weddings, Miss Christy?
Well, yes, but I hope it's a long way off for both of you. You should finish your education, and then you might want to see the world beyond Cutter Gap.
Not me. I'm gonna marry John Spencer any day now.
Bessie, I can't believe your father would give his permission.
He ain't.
Not yet, but he will.
Well, I hope you'll reconsider. Marriage at your age is not a wise idea. You might regret it later on.
You're just jealous, because you're an old maid school teacher.
The Great Smokies. When I left my city home to be a school teacher at a backwoods mission, I dreamed of adventure. I wasn't ready for the real challenges of life in these mountains. I'd have given up, if not for the children. I came to Cutter Gap to teach, but they show me every day that I'm here to learn.
Jeb, come in out of the rain. I made you some hot cider.
Can't stop now. Sourwood's in bloom.
Well, I'm not coming up there. You know how I feel about them bees.
They're hard-working little things. People can learn from them.
You mean how the males always die after mating?
I was pondering on more how it's females who do all the stinging.
John, did you do this?
Yes, ma'am.
Daisies, Rosa Sharon? You must have climbed all over the mountains for these.
You're about. Do they please you?
They're lovely. Thank you.
I'd do anything for you, Miss Christy. You're like a diamond. You sparkle and glow, and you make everyone believe they're better than they really are. Especially me. I think you're the finest woman in the world.
John.
I love you, Miss Christy.
No, you mustn't say that.
I got to tell you how I feel. I love you, Miss Christy.
John Spencer's not a boy. In the Cove, he's considered a man. Old enough to fight, old enough to marry. And if I were to hazard a guess, I'd say you're not 2 years older than John.
He seems so much younger.
He's not as worldly as you are. But his feelings run as deep.
It's Bessie he cares for. This is simply an infatuation.
Are you certain?
No.
Young men John's age are fragile. We can harm him without meaning to.
Ma'am?
Jeb?
But now, don't shoot. I didn't mean to scare you.
It's all right. He's the one from the mission.
My name is Scott. Daniel Scott, and I've come to call on you and Mrs. Spencer.
Good way to get yourself killed. Sneaking up like that.
Well, I'm sorry, but my bearings were off. I thought your cabin was further up the way. I really am sorry.
Go back inside, children. Now.
What is it you want?
Well, sir, Alice Henderson and the Reverend Grantland have invited me to build myself a cabin just over the rise there on Mission property.
What they do with their land is none of my concern.
Well, I have always believed that good neighbors are important. And I want you to know that I intend to be one to you. And I just know that you'll come to feel the same about me. In time.
I best be off to the mission.
I don't want you going off alone. Not with him around.
He don't mean us no harm. It's nothing to keep me from my reading lesson. I'll be all right.